Hello there everyone and welcome to Tune Talk with Andy. In today's episode we have AGP in the flesh. This is quite new, he's usually just on Discord like the nerd he is, but this time we have him right next to me. I wonder how, I wonder why. Regardless, today we will be discussing one of our personal, I'd say potentially favourite albums by this particular band, Dream Theater. This album is called Images and Words. I believe this is their breakout album, right?
Yeah,
definitely.
It's definitely like the most, I'd say the greatest prog metal album of all time, you know, that it brought prog metal into the scene, and now we have all these great ass metal bands and prog metal bands out there, so thank you Dream Theater, I guess.
But yeah, this was released in the early 90s, right?
Yeah, in 1992 actually.
There it is.
Yeah.
The band consisted of, let's see,
Go on.
I'm going to try doing this by memory. First of all, James Labrie,
Yeah.
John Petrucci, John Myung, Mike Portnoy, and then it was that keyboardist. Was it?
Yeah.
Was it Moore?
Yeah, Kevin Moore.
Kevin Moore, that's the one.
Kevin Moore on keyboards, you know, Myung on bass, God rest his soul.
Wait, what?
I'm just kidding.
Well, you scared me, man. What?
John Petrucci on guitar, Labrie on vocals, and then we have the man himself, Mike Portnoy. Welcome back to the band. I love this guy.
Yeah, welcome back.
Who needs Mangini?
Yo.
Just kidding.
Anyways, let's get right into it. First of all, the first song on the album is called Pull Me Under. This is probably their most known song. I would say most metal fans, or at least a large chunk of them, will have heard this despite not necessarily enjoying prog. This is definitely their most viewed and listened to song, and I would say for a reason. I wouldn't say it's their best, but it's definitely understandable why it's as high as it is. I personally think this song is an instant classic. It always hits for me personally. This is a song that I find myself singing to a lot, and it's mostly due to the instrumentals building up to the vocals so damn well, and with the vocal structure and the vocal melodies that are intertwined so damn well, it really just creates this song that I find myself listening to a whole bunch. When I'm in the shower, Pull Me Under is almost always on there. When I'm in the gym, Pull Me Under is definitely on there. It's a song that works for so many scenarios for me, and I had to give it a 9.5 out of 10. The vocals, James Labrie killed it. The drums, I like them, but I wouldn't say they're anything special necessarily compared to other songs. But yeah, Portnoy is definitely my top drummer, and this guy surely agrees with that.
This man knows.
He
knows drumming.
But yeah, Petrucci as well, he always kills it. That's his thing. I've got to say, Kevin Moore, I was about to say underrated, but I think most people rate him. Yeah, so I'm not going to say that. He's really good. He was on this album and Awake.
Yeah, and When Dreaming Day Unite.
Yeah, but we don't talk about that album.
we don't really talk about it.
Regardless, yeah, as I said, 9.5 out of 10. What do you think?
Well, you know, back when I was getting into Dream Theater, this was actually, I used to listen to this every day when I went to school, and I can attest to this guy listening to it in the shower at least.
Please specify that you were not with me in the shower.
No. Yeah, you know, this is Dream Theater's biggest hit. It's an iconic song, you know. You start with the great... I see you're traumatized.
What?
You seem traumatized.
I'm not traumatized, no. I'm just trying to listen. I'm fully grasping what you're saying.
Yeah, you got the iconic great opening riff.
Yeah.
And you know, the build-up that we get to the first verse, it's just great. The drumming is Portnoy, it's just Portnoy. The vocals are fantastic, as like every song on this album. The tension that builds up in the intro leading up to the first verse, where the intensity, like, it continues until the instrumental break. You're always on the edge of your seat. You can't sit back down until that point. And we then get a release until the next chorus comes and just leads us to the outro. I would say this song is overrated by casuals and underrated by the fan base, you know. Well, when I say fan base, I mean the nerds on Reddit.
Yeah, that's really well said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The lyrics are just average Dream Theater nonsense. I mean, Kevin Moore, he wrote the lyrics, but I don't get what the he's talking about 90% of the time, like sparrows falling to the ground and whatever. Yeah, I love the intensity in the second verse, especially, because the vocals are just so over the top. I love it. And the drum fill that comes before the first chorus, it's really simple, yet it's so effective, and it's one of my favorites, especially when I was first getting into Dream Theater. And that's the one fill that I need to learn this, and that drove me deep into the drumming rabbit hole. So I really appreciate that one fill. And you know, the more you dig deeper, the more you like appreciate the different layers of the song and every like instrumental and melody that's like underneath everything. Especially when I did this last listen, I just noticed a lot more things than I did the first time. The drum fills before each chorus, they are just executed perfectly. I mean, that's just Portnoy, you know, but... And the instrumental break, let's talk about that one. It's not too long, but it's just amazing. The keyboards are great, and I love the like sort of funky guitar strumming you have underneath before the solo. And you know, the solo, that's just John Petrucci. It's a bit short, but great phrasing nonetheless. It's a pretty straightforward song. It's still really effective and well written, and that's, you know, why it's the #1 song on the charts wise, I guess. It at least brought prog metal to the mainstream, and I really appreciate that. It's not a song I listen to on my own most of the time, but every time I listen to the album, I'm always engaged. And the outro, it's awesome. I'm not too sure if I agree with the abrupt cutoff though. I think a fade out would maybe work a bit better, and then instead of like just cut it off. I mean, probably it technically works, but I think a fade out would be more effective leading into the next song, which is Another Day. Oh, I forgot to give my rating. Pull Me Under is an 8.5 out of 10. Yeah. Now, Another Day. This is one of my favorite songs of Images and Words, at least back in the day. Fun fact, the first Dream Theater song I fully learned on the drums. I love the intro, great riff, and then the small solo you get. This is peak Libri performance, just like the rest of the album. The drumming is excellent, it's creative, tasteful, powerful, and excellent. That's just how I describe Portnoy. I love the arrangement choices they made, how well put together it all is. It feels like, you know, when I describe most Opeth songs, especially like of a Blackwater Park or something, I describe each song like a journey, and this song is definitely like a journey, no matter how short it is. So I really appreciate that and love that. I'm not usually a saxophone lover, but you know, this song does it really well. I love the sax inclusion. Keys are excellent. Amazing atmosphere. That's one thing this album has to receive. It's got some amazing atmospherical moments. The lyrics are very deep and powerful. As far as I know, they're about John Petrucci's father's cancer battle or something. And this is just one of the best guitar solos I've ever heard in my life. The phrasing is perfect. No one can make the guitar weep like John Petrucci. David Gilmour. I don't give a shit about David Gilmour. I mean, great guitarist, but he has got nothing on John Petrucci.
Agree.
The last chorus is an excellent climax, and it releases all the tension that's been built up singly. Just with the line alone, Die Another Day, the final line, it releases it all that we've been building up. And then following this, we have an excellent saxophone solo and a more relaxed ending to the song. So Another Day is a 9 out of 10 in my books.
Yeah, I actually really agree with most of your points there. Another Day is just a song that I would call a euphoric experience. It's the go-to song, along with Pull Me Under, for me to introduce new people to Dream Theater to. Simply because they're not as advanced as, say, something from Metropolis Part 2 or something from 6 Degrees. Another Day, it's just such a nice tune. It has plenty of layers that get you to appreciate, as you said, the whole journey. And it's just one of my all-time favorites. It's a song that instantly stuck with me. The vocals definitely, for me personally, carry the song a lot, but that's because I haven't really given myself enough time to properly dive deep into the instrumentals, but that's because I'm so enthralled and just captured in the moment when I listen to James LaBrie's vocal performance here, because my god, he knows how to deliver, at least on this album and Awake. Say what you will for the rest of their discography, but yeah, this is definitely peak LaBrie, as I think you just said. But yeah, I gave this a 9.5 out of 10. This is a brilliant song, and again, it's a song that I instantly just recommend to anyone out there, because it's something for everyone to enjoy. It's not overly complicated, it's not too long, and it's downright enjoyable. It's an easy listen, and it's absolute brilliance.
Say what you want about Labrie, but he's killed it, at least for me, on every album up until... I mean, I like Distance Over Time vocals a lot, but you can definitely tell some effects and stuff have been put on his voice, you know, it's very processed. The Astonishing, which released in 2016, that's one of my favorite Labrie performances, like, throughout. But sadly, live, he's just dog shit. He's at least nowadays, he's jumping around like a drunken jester, but we have to move, you know, the band is... They're not gonna fire Labrie, and I don't think they should. I mean, if they should or not, that's a different debate, but I don't think they really should. I just think they should just live their last years in peace as a band and a family, I guess.
Yeah, I think they should just keep doing their thing. I mean, there is a charm in it, them just carrying on despite their difficulties because of their passion for music. But regardless, let's not get off on a tangent. Next up, we have Take the Time. I gave this an 8.5 out of 10, and this was actually quite a surprising tune for me because it's probably the song that I remembered the least prior to my most recent listen of the album. But instantly I was just captivated by this funky and nice instrumentals, and I don't know, it didn't feel like 8 minutes. It felt like it was gone in a moment because I was so enthralled by what was going on. Everything was just complexity done right for me personally. The vocals were a bit less prominent for me personally, but let's see, they had this dialogue type thing early on, and I'm a huge fan of that in prog. We've seen that from Porcupine Tree, and we've seen it here with Dream Theater, plenty of other bands as well. I'm a fan of them just bringing something different to the table and then building off of that. So for me, this was a pleasant surprise, as I said. A damn good listen. I feel like this is not a song I would put on outside of the album, but that does not take away from the greatness. But that is simply because I feel like this is a song that belongs on this album, and it needs to kind of stay there to keep the album alive. Not sure if that makes sense. Some songs you'll be able to play alongside random songs on a playlist, but this song, I feel like you need the whole album to fully enjoy it. I gave it an 8.5 out of 10. Your thoughts?
Oh boy, Take the Time. If this was like a year ago, I'd put this at like 2 out of 10 for no absolute reason at all. I used to relentlessly shit on this song just to be different. You know, this is the most fun song I think I've ever heard in my life, so funky. I love the intro. The keys are great. Oh, I love the samples they use. Hold on, wait a minute. It's just really fun. The bass is funky as it's amazing. Vocals are perfect. I love the vocals on this song, especially in the chorus. You have the backing vocals. The drumming is, let me say this again, groovy, creative, and excellent, as always. The third verse is just vocally as impressive as it gets, from Labrie at least, and it's amazing. The intensity carries on flawlessly to the chorus. Labrie is just so intense, that's the word I call him, especially on this album. Really intense. The bridge is great. It lets you take a breather after all of this nut-cracking shit we've been listening to. And they definitely play with a lot of time signature on this. I can't count to save my life. The instrumental break is amazing. It's the Dream Theater we all know and love. You know, it just goes batshit crazy, it's everywhere, but it still has cohesion. It's not just random, flawless flopping about like some of these other bands that you have in the modern prog metal scene. The guitar solo, it's a John Petrucci solo. I think there's only one solo I don't like from John Petrucci, and it's, guess what, on Beyond This Life. So yeah, the keyboard solo is good there as well. It's nothing special, but it's good. Great outro. I love me a returning guitar motif and then a final chorus to finish a song. Personally now one of my favorite Dream Theater songs, when previously I'd ranked this at the bottom of the Dream Theater catalogue. So I gave this a 9.5 out of 10.
Fair.
Now, on to the most underrated Dream Theater song in their catalogue. We have Surrounded. I also gave this a 9.5 out of 10. It's got a fantastic intro, beautiful atmosphere. One thing Kevin Moore really knows how to do is set a proper atmosphere, and he proves this with not only Pull Me Under and Another Day, but Surrounded and some of the other songs on the album, especially one we'll be talking about later. The singing is just beautiful, and the arrangement choices keyboard-wise too, it just hits so well. Fantastic melodies. I love the lead guitar before the first verse. The melody is just so hooky, it's so catchy, engages you. Drumming, oh, here's a fun little sentence. Drumming is fantastic. I love Portnoy, I love Portnoy, I love Portnoy, I love Portnoy.
Do you know what? Fair.
Yeah, you
Just
know,
fair.
I think
Yeah.
that is fair.
Yeah.
You know, the vocals are amazing too. I love the texture and the dynamic. Oh, those are big words. Texture and dynamics. Oh, and this is also one of my favorite Dream Theater lyrics ever.
Yes.
Light to dark, dark to light, light to dark, dark to light. That's just the most poetic thing I've ever heard in my life. And the bass, it's actually really good in this song. Really appreciate it. I've never actually listened to it until I checked out the tabs and how to play it. It's not the most technically difficult stuff, but it's really tasty. It's really complementary to the music. Yeah, I mean, poor John Mayung, he's the only member that it's not in my top three of their instrumentalist.
Well, lucky mate.
I love the short instrumental break too and the guitar solo, and after that we jump straight into the climax with these peak vocals, and it's just and yeah, you know, I argue this is the most underrated Dream Theater song of all time. This song has me hooked from the first time I listened to it.
Right, well, as you said, it has a fantastic intro, and Kevin Moore, he does know how to set a proper atmosphere. Everything about this song just is downright phenomenal. I'm a fan of the lyrics, I'm a fan of everything from the instrumentals to the vocals, and as you said, the light to dark, dark to light, that whole thing, it's just so goofy, but it fits so well, and I freaking love it. This song, as you said, is downright one of the more underrated Dream Theater songs, and I'm not sure why. It's such a good song. I'll never understand why people don't give it the praise it deserves. It's just
astonishing.
It's astonishing. No, but the thing is, the intro, it's really good, but I don't know, the first, 20 seconds reminds me of the intro to Baba O'Reilly. I feel like I'm waiting for the dun dun bit to kick in, but it never does.
Wait, actually, I haven't heard Baba O'Reilly in a while now. I think I actually might agree with you.
It's really similar. Do you see what I mean? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I definitely do.
Nice, but it's not. Whoa, relax, man. But yeah, it's not like it's a rip-off or anything. It's different, but still really similar. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like maybe they took some inspiration. I'm not sure though. I'm not sure if they know who the Who is.
I mean, to be fair, Portnoy. One of Portnoy's inspirations is Keith Moon, the drummer for the Who, and so.
Will you look at that?
Yeah, will you look at that?
I love everything about it. I did give it a 9 out of 10, but I feel like that's because it's its ceiling for me personally. Some songs are just 10s, whereas others are 9s at best. There's still nothing distinctly wrong with the song. It's so damn good, man, and I keep forgetting how good it is, which pisses me off because I enjoy every listen to it. Next up, we have a song that I always forget for some dumb reason. It's one of their more iconic songs, I reckon. It's Metropolis Part 1, The Miracle and the Sleeper, it says. Wow, these names, man, they're so odd.
Hey, it reminds me of these walls.
Regardless, it has a phenomenal opening riff that I fucking adore. And, I don't know, man, this song, it's good, but it doesn't stick out to me as much as any of the other songs on the album. And I'm not quite sure why. I feel like, I don't know, I have no words for it. This song is just, it's good, but it's not amazing. It's an 8.5 out of 10. As I was trying to take notes, I wasn't capable at pinpointing anything for this song, other than its riff and the fact that the instrumentals are so damn technical and the instrumental delivery is so clean. The vocals are not too memorable for me, though they are good, don't get me wrong, but still, it's good, but I feel like something is missing here. On to you.
This song just has a great, iconic intro, you know. The riff too, it hits so well. The drumming is fabulous. I am a sucker for the hi-hat Bach 4/4 type beat. You know, but just Portnoy executes it perfectly several times throughout his career. You know, on Home too, he does it. It also sounds heavy as so I appreciate that, I guess. This song just has one of the best instrumental breaks in DT and I would say prog history, especially prog metal history. Definitely one of the most important ones, I'd say. And the time signature changes, they are executed so well that, you know, you don't really know how to describe it, but it just sounds so well and it properly connects and makes the song cohesive. while still maintaining that pushing the boundaries type of stuff. Oh, and the keyboard and guitar unison part, that's just beautifully written. I love that melody. It's so well. And guess what? The vocals themselves too, they are also fantastic. Great melodies. One of my favorite... I mean, the vocals are probably my least favorite part of this song too, though. Don't know if it's your... But yeah, the final verse, I really love that part. It's great closure to the story. Oh, and going back to the instrumental break, I love that, you know, every single instrument gets a solo. You know, the bass solo, I love that. The small kind of drum solo, it just hits so well too. Everything's just so well written, and the instrumental break, you know, is just perfect. I would call it perfect, though. Not a lot of things are perfect. This thing is perfect. This is one of the greatest Dream Theater songs. Not one of my favorites though, but it's one of the greatest. And this song definitely pushed the boundaries at the time, so I gave it a 10 out of 10. And it's definitely one of my favorite songs on this album. So, but now on to Under a Glass Moon. This song gets a 9 out of 10 for me too. It's got a great intro, very powerful chord and riff that Mr. John Petrucci plays. I love the drum part in the intro. The drumming on this song especially, it's so powerful, it's so enjoyable, so fun. And you know, this is the average Peak Libri performance, you know, flawless. The vocal melodies themselves, I just love them. One of my favorite songs for Libri actually. The chorus and the verses, I love them, especially vocally. This is also one of the greatest guitar solos in history, I would say actually. Especially prog history. No, it's objectively one of the greatest in prog history. This is definitely the greatest Petrucci solo. It's not my favorite, but it is the greatest. It was groundbreaking at the time, and you know, everybody knows the Under a Glass Moon guitar solo. Just ask your mother; she probably doesn't know, but she will once you. She will. Trust me. Yeah, I love the solo itself. Myself. It really shows his versatility. I mean, I swear to God, he used like 3 or 4 different guitar techniques, so I don't know if I said the rating, but 9 out of 10.
Yeah, that's fair. I agree with pretty much everything you said. I do actually think that the drumming on this song is my favourite on the entire album, maybe even DT as a whole, can't lie. I really like it, and it really sticks out to me as downright astonishing. But yeah, other than that, it has a really strong riff. The intro just gets me hooked immediately. But this is, much like Take the Time, a song that for me personally I can't listen to without the album in its entirety, because it feels like such a cemented piece of images and words history that I can't just remove it. Whereas with Pull Me Under and Another Day, they're more like hit-esque type songs, so you can remove them and listen to them in your playlist. But for me personally, I just can't. I gave this an 8 out of 10. As you said, and as I wholeheartedly agree with, John Petrucci is the sexiest man alive. He is phenomenal with everything he does. And the guitar solo, it kicks freaking ass. People saying, Freebird this, kill yourself. This is significantly better. I'll never understand people's love for Freebird. Regardless, I gave this song an 8 out of 10. It's still a good song, and no song on this album is bad or average. I will tell you that. Every song is great. Most songs are phenomenal. And that just speaks volumes of how great this album is as a whole. Next up, we have Wait for Sleep. This is also one of the songs that I had completely forgotten existed prior to my latest listen. But something I instantly noticed was that the intro sounds as though it's inspired by the Exorcist theme song. And I feel like maybe it was I'm not sure if it was, but it felt like it was intentional based on the title itself, Wait to Sleep. Maybe it's a reference to someone struggling with their sleep, maybe they feel haunted, or maybe there's some ominous vibes there, but this song just, for me, felt like the polar opposite to Under a Glass Moon. Not sure if that makes sense, but there's just this atmosphere that really just sticks with you on this song, and I don't know, it's really good, but it's still not one of the best songs on this album, and I need to at least listen to Under a Glass Moon before I listen to this song. I gave this an 8 out of 10 because I feel like they're the same yet different. On to you.
Oh wow, Wait for Sleep, man. Yeah, I mean, I get the polar opposite impression, you know, I mean, this doesn't really sound like a scary song to me. It sounds very, very warm, very comforting actually. like you are waiting for sleep. Yeah, the song just, as you said, has an amazing atmosphere. I saw a comment on people calling Kevin Moore's parts dreamy, and I would definitely call this atmosphere dreamy, which I guess falls back into the wait for sleep title thing. I have seen people actually want this song to be called Images and Words, since they actually say the album title in the song actually. So yeah, I might agree with that, but I think Wait for Sleep is a more iconic name.
Just to step in, as you said, they said the album name on that song. They also said another album name somewhere in the song. On Metropolis Part 1, they say Scenes from a Memory.
Yeah.
Which is a bit fun.
I mean, it might be because it's Metropolis Part 1.
Maybe! But yeah, keep going.
Well, speaking of Metropolis Part 1, that was actually... That title was meant as a joke, because they were making fun of Russian stuff. I mean, that's their biggest influence, though. But, you know, since people were giving, like, Part 1s and shit to their titles, they just made fun of it.
Love that.
Yeah. This is one of my favorite piano songs when we're talking of Wait for Sleep. I just love it throughout. The vocals are beautiful. This song doesn't get higher since, you know, it is short, but it's still the perfect length for this song. It doesn't need to be longer. There comes a part, you know, especially with this type of song, if you drag it longer than 4 minutes, you know, you can't have a 12-minute type of this song. That just doesn't work.
I agree.
This is what Kevin Moore magic means. I actually love the lyrics to this song too. Now, on to my favorite song off of this album, and maybe a top 10 song in Dream Theater history for me. It's Learning to Live. I love the keyboard riff. You know, Kevin Moore, he just kills it throughout this entire song, but the keyboard riff, especially at the beginning, is just so memorable. This is one of my favorite songs for the drums ever. Oh, Portnoy, I could do stuff. And the time signatures in this song, it also gives me a heart attack. I mean, that's just average Dream Theater. If we're gonna name some, you know, if you don't understand it, don't worry. You probably don't want to understand it regardless. 10-4, 9-4, 12-8, 15-8, that just gives me a heart attack. Just to mention some, there's like so many others. But yeah, in the verse, there's a good bass line. This is most likely my favorite Labrie performance. The acoustic solo section too, it's great, and we get that build up to the F sharp that Labrie hits in that vocal moment. That's the vocal moment in my favorite Labrie performance. Or my favorite Labrie moment. That is what peak Labrie means. That moment. Yeah, the build up to it is just executed perfectly. The guitar solo that follows, it's just, oh, that's John Petrucci. He makes it weep. The guitar weeps again. It's perfect and it's beautifully phrased. Oh, John Petrucci, I love you.
Such a sexy human being, man.
This is just a perfect ending to an album. And just, wow, what a great album it is too. Yeah, take it away. Oh, I give this a 10 out of 10 by the way. On to you, I guess.
Yeah, well, I just have to say that the journey from Pull Me Under to the ending with Learning to Live is so beautiful. It's so well written, and everything about it just gets me emotional, to be honest. Learning to Live is the song that kind of breaks me at the end. Most albums that are in my top 10 list at least have one song that gets me jerking. Not that way, no, not that way, but tear jerking. Start tearing up. No, but anyways, Learning to Live, it's such a phenomenal song. Everything about it is just so damn well written, so well structured, and as you said, the keyboard riff, it's phenomenal. Kevin Moore, he has done really well on the albums he was on, but of course Rudess is Rudess. You can't just dethrone a goat. But yeah, the vocals on this song, they stand out to me just like they do on Pull Me Under. They are one of my favourite James Labrie performances of all time. Some might say that Awake has like Lifting Shadows of a Dream, or some other song on there might be their top, but for me personally, Pull Me Under and Learning to Live are definitely in my top 5, I'd say, based on Labrie's performances. But yeah, the instrumentals on this song, they're so... Petrucci kills it. Portnoy kills it, Kevin Moore kills it, John Myung, I'm sure he kills it, but I just never notice. This whole channel is based around me and my noob ways within music and my journey, because I started from nothing, knowing nothing, and gradually I'm starting to learn a bit. Back, like before, I wouldn't be able to like identify one instrument at a time. I could just listen to things in its entirety, but now I've been able to notice guitars for what they are, drums for what they are, keyboards for what they are, and just kind of appreciate songs for what they are. But bass is so difficult for me to fully comprehend just yet. I know I imagine it. Bass is mostly about maintaining a proper rhythm and then getting a sort of a kick to kind of back up the guitars, but then again, I'm not sure. That's just my impression of it. And to end things off with that song, the ending, when he just, I was about to say yells, but when he sings Learning to Live to freaking end the song and end the album, it's the most powerful Dream Theater moment for me personally. It's so strong, and it sits with you for so damn long, at least for me. But I gave the song a 9 out of 10. I sort of regret not giving it a 9.5. I will give it a 9.5 because it's phenomenal. Right, so if we add all of our scores together and we divide it by the number of songs, I got 8.8. I think that's my highest scoring album to date, and I've just got to say, Dream Theater, they have so many good albums. Like, for me, they have at least 6 S-tier albums. What do you think about this album?
Oh, this is a top 4 album of all time for me, actually. Though it is number 4. This is my second favorite Dream Theater album, and no, Scenes from Memory is not first. I'm not too big a fan of the triggered snare drum. I mean, it's iconic, sure, but you miss out on what could have been, you know. You're missing out on the dynamics and potential, like, what the ghost notes and all that Portnoy could have played, but you got this plastic drum sound out of the snare. But, you know, I like it. It's like a love-hate relationship with that snare drum. Like, this album is just, oh, it's just so iconic. The keys are excellent throughout the album. Kevin Moore is no rude ass, but the man doesn't know how to serve a song properly. This is Peak Labrie. This is one of the most important albums of all time, in my opinion. It essentially popularized progressive metal, gave us, and it influenced so many bands, which then again gave us so many metal bands that we know and love. I mean, no Portnoy means no Board Colestad with his leprous shit. This is some of the best guitar work from John Petrucci. I mean, bass is great, a bit quiet in the mix at times though. I will say I'm engaged the entire way through. I'm not bored at one single moment. Now, adding up all my scores, we get a 9.25.
That might honestly be the highest scoring we've ever had from both sides. We usually tend to agree on most songs or albums, with the exception of at least 2. Regardless, to sum it all up, we both freaking adore this album. It's important to both of us. It was important to prog metal history as a whole, and everything that this album brings is cemented into music history forever. It cannot be tarnished for what it is. Well, that will be it for now. Thank you all so much for watching. We greatly appreciate you dropping by. Feel free to drop an album or an artist or a band that you would like for either me,
Taylor Swift,
or both of us to rank. We will listen to anything regardless of the genre, but without further ado, leave a like, comment, maybe even pray for AGP's downfall. Anyway, have a good one. Bye.